On June 3rd, 1947, I was sitting at my desk in grade 6 at Royal Oak School. It was one of those spring days with the sun shining and the end of school near, when a lot of time was spent staring out the windows rather than paying attention to the teacher. It should have been, but wasn't a surprise, when I saw my mom drive the Chandler by in a direction that would take her home. She should have been working, so this was very unusual. My dad lied about his age to join the Army when he was 16, so he could fight in the First World War. In those days, much thought was given to a regular wage and patriotic duty, while the real possibility of injury and death, at least when joining up, was dealt with by denial. Apparently this worked quite well until a man was in the trench and waiting for the whistle ordering him over the top. Dad was over the top, manning a machine gun, after the other two of the three men were shot. He was also shot, and as a result was sent to England to recover. When sufficiently recovered, according to the Army doctors, he was sent back to fight. His condition did spare him the front line again, except when delivering supplies brought him close enough to get gassed, which is what happened. In 1932, he was back in Victoria, married to Jessie Thorpe, and awaiting the birth of their first child, my sister Barbara. A house had been built, and despite the recession, the outlook was promising. Not long after I was born, Dad contracted tuberculosis. One of my earliest memories of him is when we visited him in the Royal Jubilee Hospital Pavilion. He recovered, but clearly his health was further compromised. Mum was working for French's Pharmaceuticals in Victoria. Dad was working as an orderly at the Provincial Mental Hospital in Colquitt. Early in the 40s, Dad started working for the Salvation Army with a variety of interesting duties. This work included projectionists showing movies to the troops at various locations in and around Victoria, and manning a canteen vehicle at various military locations like Heels Range, Otter Point, and Albert Head. Mum also played in a band that was part of the entertainment of the regular concert parties at the Salvation Army headquarters on Broad Street. I wore a small boy-sized Army uniform that got a lot of attention when Barb and or I went to these shows or joined him on trips to the camps. On one of these trips to Souk in a near-new smooth-riding, floating Chevrolet, both of us got quite carsick. Dad, ever resourceful, stopped, knocked on the door of a resident home, and left us with some welcoming strangers. I remember it as a good time, and he did pick us up on the way back. By 1945, Dad was having signs of serious heart problems. That included a heart attack. Life went on, and though Barb and I were aware that the situation was serious, we did not know that the threat had a very short timeline. So back in the school, on June 3rd, 1947, I chose denial. For if Dad had died, then surely Mum would have stopped to pick me up. In reality, as Barb was in school at Mount Newton, Mom chose to drive there first, knowing we would then both arrive home about the same time. Life changed a lot from then on.